observers are tracking a monumental transition away from traditional, debt-based fiat systems toward a new, gold-backed architecture. This shift is centered on the implementation of the Quantum Financial System, QFS, and the integration of the ISO 20022 protocol, which is designed to modernize how international financial messages and asset transfers occur. The core of this reported transition involves the decommissioning of legacy SWIFT banking infrastructure in favor of the QFS. Proponents of this view suggest that the global ledger has been migrated to a more secure, asset-backed environment. Reports indicate that over 12,000 credit unions and financial institutions have already begun integrating the ISO 20022 protocol, which serves as the backbone for this new, transparent digital infrastructure. The narrative suggests that financial authorities have effectively re-anchored global wealth to tangible, physical gold reserves, moving away from systems that rely solely on debt or unbacked currency. Reports from the last several weeks point to a coordinated effort involving international military alliances and global treasury departments to oversee this transition. Key milestones mentioned include the synchronization of satellite networks to support the global treasury and the finalization of legal frameworks for wealth redistribution, often referred to as NISARA/GCR. For the average person, the most visible signs of this change might appear as updates to personal banking applications or notices regarding changes in institutional banking protocols. The classification Tier 4B, often used to describe the Internet group of currency and bondholders, is currently a focal point for those following the Global Currency Reset, GCR. Analysts suggest that the notification process for these individuals to set exchange or redemption appointments is imminent. Experts in this space emphasize that utilizing official redemption centers rather than standard commercial bank branches is the recommended path for those looking to manage exchange rates and secure new digital asset wallets effectively. As the world moves toward these new standards, market observers are warning that traditional financial sectors, particularly the stock and commercial real estate markets, may face significant challenges. The narrative suggests that this instability is a byproduct of the shift from an old, ghost currency model to one backed by precious metals. Whether viewed as an inevitable evolution of banking or a total systematic reset, the current signals from the financial global theater suggest that we are entering a new phase of economic history where asset-backed security is prioritized over traditional fiat debt structures. Gold-backed quantum financial system now live across the globe. The asset-backed sovereign funds, backed by the physical gold re-anchored to the U.S. Treasury, were now officially mapped to local routing networks Tier 1 megabanks across the globe, which refused to comply with asset-backed standards had their privileges revoked by the Global Military Alliance. In the U.S., over 12,000 credit unions have successfully integrated the ISO 20022 protocol. The upcoming unavoidable stock market, housing market, and commercial real estate market crashes were now set to destroy the global financial system. In anticipation of that startling global event, Trump and the Global Military Alliance triggered the below, as per Web 3.0 ISO 20022 and Tier 4 BISO 20022 on Telegram. At exactly 4:12 p.m. Eastern on Friday, June 19, 2026, the central routing servers for the old SWIFT banking system in Manassas, Virginia, suffered a technical anomaly that dropped their processing capacity to 0 for 18 minutes. The White Hat Alliance had EX'd the final data mirror. Every asset ledger, every hidden offshore account, and every dammy dollar used for the last 50 years was copied, verified, and locked into the Quantum Financial System, QFS. It was shown a security manifest at 5:30 p.m. Reference code SWIFT-term-2026-X4. The Federal Reserve has officially lost its access keys to the physical gold reserves in Fort Knox. The transfer to the U.S. Treasury was 100% complete. The paper dollar you hold in your pocket is a ghost. The new currency, completely backed by precious metals and running on the ISO 20022 protocol, was already loaded into the Tier 4B banking terminals. The Starshield satellite net has been fully synchronized with the new global treasury. The distribution protocols for the NESARA/JSARA wealth release were active. The integration has leaked, and the panic in the offshore banking hubs is absolute. The Quantum Migration, QFS. The old Fiat SWIFT system was being systematically choked off by the maritime blockade. Why? Because the transition to the ISO 20022 global standard is no longer a future project. The Quantum Financial System, QFS, has just completed its protocol integration. The old unbacked digital debt is being erased from the grid. NESARA/JSARA. Threshold. The legal frameworks for the global wealth distribution ledger have crossed the Rubicon. Tier 4B notification sequences are moving through the secure offline military channels. The wealth stolen through fraudulent central banking mechanisms is being anchored back to tangible asset-backed commodities. According to sources close to the White Hat Alliance, this is phase 1 of the much-anticipated Global Currency Reset, GCR, and JSARA/NESARA wealth redistribution procedure. Critical systems are coming into alignment for the last time, with power outages estimated to last up to 48 hours in affected areas. At exactly 8:14 p.m. Eastern Saturday night, June 20th, 2026, the old SWIFT Central Clearinghouse experienced a permanent database decoupling. The secondary handshake between the central banks of the G7 nations officially returned a terminal failure message. The corporate financial networks were preparing a massive media smokescreen for Sunday night, blaming an unprecedented synchronized cloud architecture outage. They are suffocating in their own panic. The servers didn't fail, they were decommissioned. The Quantum Financial System, QFS, has just assumed 100% control of the global ledger. Reference log: QFS-bridge-ISO 20022. Here's what the traditional banking alliance is desperately trying to censor before you wake up tomorrow morning. Level 4B activation. Secure satellite links to non-custodial Level 4B authentication terminals have moved from testing to real operation. Asset-backed sovereign funds, backed by physical gold pegged to the U.S. Treasury, are now officially connected to local routing networks. Quantum Cooperative Agreement. Over 12,000 regional and local credit unions have successfully integrated the ISO 20022 protocol in the last 4 hours. The damn Tier 1 banks that refuse to comply with asset-backed standards have had their payment rights permanently revoked by the military alliance. The NESARA liquidations. The hidden offshore pools used by the globalist corporations to short the markets and suppress humanity have been completely drained. Those funds have been legally redirected into the primary redemption accounts. The distribution protocols are locked. They told you the old system was too big to fail. They wanted you to believe you were trapped in their endless debt loop forever. Look at the sudden, forced updates on your personal banking apps tonight. Look at the emergency internal memos leaked from the administrative floors of Wall Street. The old world didn't just crash. The keys to the entire global wealth ledger were handed back to the people. The ghost currency is evaporating. The real asset-backed era is officially online. Saturday, June 20th, 2026. Project Odin equals EBS. This will release the NESARA/GCR funds, and then we the people will begin to rebuild. This event is truly biblical. Many events will also take place, such as ISO 20022 coins backed by precious metals will be available. The stock market collapsed. Quantum system. Odin project enabled. NESARA/GCR/RV global currency reset. Judy. Note: it's my personal opinion based on the below that we could anticipate Tier 4B, us, the Internet Group, being notified to set exchange appointments sometime between Monday, June 22nd, 2022, and Sunday, June 28th. On Monday, March 2nd, President Trump signed Executive Order 14,178, banning CBDC development and ordering a digital asset strategic reserve. Since Monday, June 1st, redemption centers in 14 cities have been staffed and operational. Military personnel were present at each location. NDAs would be required. On Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, the new gold/asset-backed quantum financial system went full global through the Starlink satellite system. On Wednesday, June 10th, 2026, the old CBDC SWIFT system processed its last transaction. On Thursday, June 11th, 2026, at 4:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the old banking SWIFT system deed when JP Morgan eGrabbed its first live transaction through the XRP ledger. On Tuesday, June 16th, 2026, Congress passed a bill that prohibited the CBDC from producing the fiat digital dollar, because the new gold/asset-backed currency was already in place across 209 nations. Between Monday, June 22nd and Sunday, June 28th, Tier 4B, US, the Internet Group, notifications will be sent out. The first wave covered 1.2 million verified accounts. On Saturday, July 4th, 2026, President Trump would announce the new gold standard currency. Wednesday, June 17th, 2026, Mark C. a bondholder was receiving his money. On Thursday, June 18th, other bondholders were expecting to have their money this weekend. All of Tier 3 were going to exchange this weekend. Thursday, June 18th, 2026. Bruce, the big call. The big call, universe, ebuys.com, 6677-701-866, PIN 123456, hash 6677-701-865. Sources say Tier 4B, yes, the Internet Group, could be notified for exchange appointments Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 22nd, 23rd, 24th June, and start exchanges Wednesday, 24th June, 2026. No one knows the exact date for notification of appointments for Tier 4B, yes, the Internet Group, to exchange foreign currencies, but deadlines shown in the above timing indicate it to be very soon. We have been told that Wells Fargo, which is controlled by the Chinese elders, the ones who own the gold behind the global currency reset, will send out emails to currency and bondholders worldwide telling them how to set redemption and exchange appointments. It is advised to exchange/redeem your foreign currency at an official redemption center, RC, rather than a bank. You can only redeem ZIM at a RC. The dinar contract rate can only be given at a RC, and banks will offer you lower exchange rates than what you can obtain at a RC. You can only set up your new wallet, bank account, at a RC. It was my understanding that most banks were under control of the Crown and would soon play a different role in the global financial system.